Hey Cougars, today is Friday, September 13th. I'm Montserrat Perez.
And I'm Sean Montiel. You're watching Cougar News Network.
Voicing your opinion. Find out what the Panorama Survey is and why it is important for students.
The results are in, an in-depth look at our election poll for the month of August.
Remembering Coach Hester. See how the Franklin volleyball team paid tribute to a former Franklin volleyball coach.
Student leadership is looking to improve the community feel here on campus.
To do so, they want to make sure your voice is heard through the Panorama Survey. A parade was held on Wednesday, September 11th, through the hallways of both campuses to encourage students to take the panoramic survey. It was led by student counselor, color guard, and the Star of the West band. Students held the QR code for everyone to scan and take the survey. The survey is district-wide. It helps the district and Franklin understand how students are feeling and what can be done to improve things on campus.
I'm a part of SuperSAC, which is the Superintendent's Advisory Council, and we take the information as representatives of our feeder schools, and we look for different ways to implement things that can help the schools. Such as last year, we gathered information from the survey, and because of that information, we started doing student focus groups and other steps towards building the community.
After all the data is collected, Franklin Campus's improvement team will evaluate the results. There will be 2 more surveys this school year. Homecoming is right around the corner, and it's time to start filling the hallways with Hoko spirit.
The students have started planning out how they're going to decorate the hallways. This year's theme is Once Upon a Hoko. Seniors will decorate their hallway with Marvel. Juniors are doing princesses and royalty. Sophomores have Pixar, and the freshman theme is Disney Junior. Franklin's senior class president encourages everyone to come out and participate.
Just have fun with it and get involved with it, because if you don't like how the hallway comes out, if it or how it went last year, then come out this year, and it's actually a lot of fun. And we also will be working on the float.
Hallway decorating happens Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays after school.
If you're in need of a homecoming dress, you can get one right here on campus, in room East 164. You can find about 50 gently worn dresses ready to be taken. The dresses are free. You can stop by Ms. Harris' room anytime her door is open, or before school or during lunch.
We have a bunch of dresses that were donated last year for prom, and we have a bunch left over, as you can see. Anybody that would like a dress or like to come and look at the dresses is able to come in, pick up the dresses, try them on, and if they're interested, they're free to take.
The dress closet is something that was done last year as an avid community service project. Ms. Harris plans to open the dress closet for prom as well. This year marks the 23rd year since the 9/11 attacks in the United States.
To commemorate the day, the Franklin Choir helped honor this day in history.
Oh, sing, can you see by the dawn's early light?
The Franklin Choir sang the national anthem over the intercom at the beginning of our school day. AFJROTC students stood outside by the flag to show respect for those who lost their lives during the attacks and to honor those who helped save lives. Franklin had originally planned a 9/11 memorial ceremony and Cookies for Courage event. This is footage from last year's event, but unfortunately that had to be canceled this year.
Our military liaison, Ms. Picorni, she was originally in charge of inviting people, telling people the information. So after she left, it was very difficult for us. One, we had to track down everyone who came and we were trying to tell them, but we couldn't get, the contact information of people, and if we did, a lot of them wouldn't respond. So people were just not getting the information.
Student Council did, however, plan to make cookies and deliver them to first responders throughout El Paso.
Hello and welcome to the political section of Cougar News Network. My name is Paul Gomez. The 2024 presidential election will happen on November 5th. It will be between Vice President Kamala Harris as the Democratic nominee and former President Donald Trump as the Republican nominee. At Franklin, we conducted a poll from August 30th to August 31st with a total of 84 Cougars participating. Pollsters were asked 3 questions pertaining to the federal election, asking which candidate they preferred, are they registered to vote, and which issue was most important to them. Keep in mind, all pollsters will be 18 or older by election day. Here are the results. As Franklin is very divided politically, with Kamala Harris having 33.33% of the vote, Donald Trump having 30.95% of the vote, while the rest of the participants remain undecided between the 2 nominees. At the time of the poll, 50% of participants were already registered to vote, while the remaining 50% planned on registering to vote by election day. Meanwhile, here are the most important issues to Cougars. with the national economy coming in first place by 31.17%, followed by immigration with 21.43% and abortion with 17.53%. Nationally, at the time of our poll, Kamala Harris was up 3 points against Trump by August 31st. However, since then, some of the polls have shifted nationally, with Harris now being up by 0.8% according to 270 to Win and up by 2.8% by 538 by ABC News. Meanwhile, the state margins in Texas have shifted, with Texas having Trump ahead of Harris by 5.8 points according to 270 to Win and plus 6 for Trump according to 538 by ABC News. All of these recent results are as of September 10th before the presidential debate. While the election season heats up nationally, here at home, Cougars are registering to vote. On September 4th, a representative with the Paso Public Library came to the Franklin Library at Magnet to help students register to vote. They helped people to register during the first and second period. Some classes had been taken out during first period to help register their students to vote. Meanwhile, others came individually to register. The librarian at Franklin, Mrs. Anaya, explains where else to go to register to vote.
Students can go to the public library, Doris Van Doren, right down the street 2 blocks away, and they can register there. They can also go to the El Paso County website and print out the registration form there, and it's a free postage. Just drop it in the mail and you're registered to vote.
This invitation to Franklin for registrations come at a unique time with the 2024 general and presidential election happening in November. Mrs. Anaya details the importance of voting for elections.
It's just our role as U.S. citizens to participate in voting and have our voices heard. A lot of people around the world don't have that kind of freedom, and so we definitely need to appreciate our freedoms here in the U.S.
The deadline to register to vote is October 5th. To find out where to vote in your area, visit epcountyvotes.com. Election Day is happening Tuesday, November 5th, 2024. Students and faculty do not have to attend school on Election Day. This is Paul Gomez reporting.
Hey Cougars, I'm Marco Cervantes and this is your weekly sports report. Franklin football took on Del Valle at home after the Week 1 victory against Chapin, where the Cougars had full momentum and were ready to face the Conquistadores and look to remain undefeated. The beginning of the game seemed like it would be the defenses taking control of the game, with no scoring early on until Del Valle opened the scoring in the second quarter, making the game 7-0. Then getting the ball back, Del Valle would put up a field goal, making it 10-0, and would now put the Cougars under pressure to see if they could come back. After halftime, the game was still 10-0, but Franklin showed what they could do under pressure after Jose Huerto Boloni Guzman opened the scoring for Franklin with a 65-yard rushing touchdown, getting Franklin back in the game, making the score 10-7. But Del Valle answered back with a rushing touchdown, increasing Franklin's deficit to 17-7. But with Franklin's home advantage on their side, they come back swinging with an 8-yard rushing touchdown from Atreyu de la Riva to make the gap smaller for Franklin at 17-14. After that, it was all Del Valle and their defense, with Del Valle adding another rushing touchdown and then shutting down Franklin in the fourth quarter, ending the game 24-14. Unfortunately for the Cougars, they looked like they would go 2-0, but just couldn't finish the job against Del Valle. That Franklin headed to Lubbock, Texas to face Monterey to see if they could get revenge after the last game, but they fell short with the final score being 36-14. In other sports news, volleyball held a tribute game in honor of Coach Hester, and a huge number of fans were in attendance to honor her. Before the game began, volleyball held a ceremony to honor Coach Hester, placing flowers on a framed picture of hers, and having mariachi performing some of their pieces to honor Coach Hester. The coaches and staff, including Ms. Bowser, talked about Coach Hester and the incredible things she did for Franklin and the volleyball program. After the ceremony, volleyball faced Loretto and looked to end the night with a win for Coach Hester. With an incredible performance from the volleyball team, Franklin was able to win 3-0 to cap off an emotional night. We were able to talk to previous coach for volleyball team, Coach Valdez, who told us about Coach Hester and what she did for the program, the impact she had on the volleyball team, and the legacy she left behind.
Well, Coach Hester was an integral part of our wonderful seasons that we had at Franklin High School. But more than that, her spirit of the game and love of the game was probably best of all. Her smile. I know Coach Hester is right up there laughing and having a ball and watching us and seeing how well the girls are playing, and so excited to see so many of her old players here.
That's all for this week's Sports Cougars. I'm Marco Cervantes.
That's all for this week, Cougars. As always, I'm Sean Montiel.
I'm Montserrat Perez.
Thanks for watching Cougar News Network.